We are back on Get Up. I've been at ESPN 30 years. Victor Wembanyama is the best highlight I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
This is Victor Wembanyama against the Grizzlies last night. Pick this up. Monica, how would you describe this matchup right here?
Well, that is unfair to start.
Oh, God.
Gee, golly.
All right, so it's not all Wemby. Watch this dunk from Stephon Castle. Here, boys.
Oh, hey.
Throwing it down.
Oh,
Spurs by 19. And it's not even a game, so forget about that part of it. Just enjoy this. Now, Walter Clayton on the other end. Wemby had 5 blocks in the first half. Here's one of them for you. C'est magnifique.
Magnifique. We got to get some French words in.
All right, now here's a great moment.
Okay.
Third quarter. Watch this sequence. On the offensive end, this is Memphis. G.G. Jackson is going to dunk on Wemby.
Come on. Okay, G.G.
Listen, don't make him angry.
Uh-oh.
You won't like him when he's angry. This is the next play.
Uh-oh.
Watch this.
Oh, no. Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, my.
It's
Look
personal.
Bring it back. Throw it down. Final seconds of the third now. Look at Wembanyama. That smile. Watch this thing rattle in. 19 points, 15 rebounds, 7 blocks. Average day at the office for the big baguette. Spurs win it by 25. It's Wembanyama's 16th game this year with 15, 15, and 5. The rest of the NBA has 2 combined. His is the most since Dwight Howard a generation ago. Meanwhile, the other day we heard about Wemby talking about himself for MVP. I want you to hear what Draymond Green had to say about that last night.
I hated it, and I absolutely loved it. And the reason is because the reason I hated it is because until Wemby said defense is 50% of the game, it was like, oh, man, no one realized that? Right? Like, no one realized that 50% of the game we play is on that end of the floor. So he comes out and makes this profound-ass statement, and it's like, oh, of course it is. And everybody's like, oh, man, he has a great point. Hello? You think? So I hated it because he had to do that for that to then be said. All of a sudden, you turn on TV, and everybody's like, actually, maybe Wemby is the MVP. And I can agree with that. Maybe he is. But the fact that he has to come out and remind people, hey, y'all see what I do over there? It's like an indictment on the game of basketball. Everybody want to crush Luka Doncic when Luka doesn't live up to the standard of defense. But we got this guy defending entire teams, and no one took it into account until he said, well, number one, defense is 50% of the game.
I could what is it? With the glasses, it's especially effective, the expression on your face. What are you thinking?
I'm like, bro, the guy that we're saying is the MVP is an outstanding two-way player, and that has been a part of his case all year long.
Right.
Oh, and the other guy that surprisingly took the Eastern Conference team to a 2 seed before his running mate returned, also incredible two-way player. That is a huge part of the case that we've been making on behalf of both of them. If you want to talk about Luka Doncic, then that's fine. But don't act like the other 2 MVPs is just cooling on, 2 of the other MVP candidates are just cooling and sitting back on defense, because that's not true.
Fair enough. But Wembanyama is taking it to a whole other level,
This is
right?
also
I mean,
true.
Wembanyama is playing, Draymond just said it. He's guarding the entire other team. And I have been talking about this for a while. Right now, San Antonio is 2 games behind OKC. Both have 9 to play. They probably won't catch them. They do have the tiebreaker, so maybe they do. One way or another, if they finish with the 1 seed, Tim McMahon, I don't see any way in the world Wembanyama is not the MVP.
I mean, if the Spurs are the top overall seed, it's a pretty ironclad case. As you said, we'll see if that happens. I would still have Shea slightly above him. But, you know, Draymond was classic Draymond. Pretty condescending, sort of correct in this sense. The gap, look, we can argue. Is Luka the best offense player? Is it Shea? Is it Joker? The gap between those guys on that end of the floor and Wemby on defense to the next best defensive player, it's a different sort of gap. Wemby is an outstanding offensive player. He is so by far the most dominant defender in the NBA, maybe in NBA history, that, that is absolutely a massive part of his case. But again, if they're the top seed, I don't see how you could not have him at the top of your ballot.
Jay, well, you and I have known each other forever. I mean, what are the right things to say about Victor Wembanyama right now as we're watching what he's doing?
Rini, I think the thing I love about him is it's very nostalgic. It reminds me a lot of 90s basketball. And coming in a day and age in which offense is polarizing and everybody is focused on skill set and, scoring a lot of points and faster pace and coming off conversations where LeBron says, nobody really wants to be the face of the league because of what comes along with that. Here you have this dude that is like, no, I want it. Like, I want it. I want to be the MVP. I want to dominate you. Yeah, 50% of the game is defense, and I've been doing that. That's what I do. It feels more old school basketball in 2026, which people of our generation want to see. You want to see a guy that plays back-to-backs. You want to see a guy that blocks out the sun and talks trash and reminds you of what basketball used to mean. And to me, that's everything in today's age.
I agree with that 1,000. I co-sign everything he just said. He brings an attitude. The most surprising thing to me about Wembanyama, again, I started hearing about him about 2 years before he came to the NBA. Brian Windy was telling me about there's this kid in France who's over 7 feet tall that is going to be the next whatever. So however many years ago that is, 5 years, 6 years ago. And you hear about the skill set and you see it. You see the size, which is obviously ridiculous. But the one thing you didn't know is that he's got that attitude that Jay Will is talking about. He does play and seem to think the way those guys used to.
I remember covering the draft lottery that year, Greeny, and one of the things we discussed at the end of that was all the expectation that LeBron came into the league with, right? And we sort of amongst ourselves are like, has a guy come into the league with as much expectation since then? Victor certainly is in that class. And outside of the unfortunate health things last year, he has answered, and that's not his fault. Let me make sure I want to make that very clear.
Right.
But he has answered all of those expectations and probably been better than we imagined, right?
For this team to be 2 games out of the 1 seed this year, he has exceeded. Tim McMahon, give me a quick final thought.
Wemby wants it all. Wemby is chasing his potential. He thinks he has the potential to be the best basketball player we've ever seen. That's what he's chasing. The MVPs, the championships, all the other stuff comes along with it, and he expects all that, and he wants it all.
Okay, love it. Love everything about him.
No.
Joker recorded his 5th ever game in NBA history with at least 19, 19, and 19 performance.
That tells me he's just going to get 20.
Stop it.
Nitpicking. You just nitpicking,
So,
man.
Fifth all time?
SGA,
Fifth time ever.
Fifth time ever.
Wemby,
Fifth time ever.
and Jaylen Brown in action from their Wednesday matchups coming off those 3 games specifically. And as we approach the end of the regular season, really, what do you make of the current MVP race now, especially after, because I asked you while these were in progress.
Please go to Robin. Please.
Well, you just want me to cite Jaylen Brown, don't you? You just want me to say.
That's what I want you to say.
I'm not going to give anybody credit. I'm totally going to detract from Jaylen Brown. That's what I'm going to do.
Yes.
No, I think it's an incredibly close race. I know a lot of people, they kind of had SGA with a small lead because he's on the number 1 team. He has the narratives with some of the records he said and everything. I think it's very close. I don't think there's a clear-cut winner. You can make a pretty reasonable argument for SGA, for Joker, and for Wemby, in my opinion.
3-man race.
Yeah.
Okay. I like what Jaylen Brown did.
Yeah.
He stepped up to the plate. You see he was guarding SGA on a decent amount of possessions today, trying to showcase that,